Now everybody, here's what President Biden is saying about this. Folks, several new details have been released on upcoming monthly benefit checks. President Biden is updating the plan to address the Social Security problems that we're having in America. Republicans have also proposed a few changes as well. So, on this channel guys, I always do my very best to provide you with the most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check information because I want everybody to receive the most important news that you guys have to know. And I know that many of you guys are in need of stimulus checks, so I hope that President Biden can definitely do more for the American people. If you believe that President Biden can do more and send out stimulus payments faster, then tell me in the comments. Now, Social Security is back in the spotlight as the midterm elections near. Joe Biden has made it clear that his campaign theme is repeatedly asserting the Social Security program. It's on the chopping block. He said if Republicans were back in control of the House and Senate, that would happen. President Biden has seized on two proposals from Rick Scott and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, who say Social Security should be up for reauthorization by Congress every 5 years, or annually. Now, these two senators have pushed back, saying their ideas are intended to fix a program and not eliminate it. But Senator Johnson argues the plan to make the funding discretionary rather than mandatory, as it's been the program's since creation, and it will boost the Social Security Administration finances as it experiences a shortfall. Johnson told reporters, "I want to make myself clear. I want to save Social Security and I want to save Medicare." Do you think that President Biden is serious about this? Tell me in the comments. The ramped up rhetoric comes just weeks out from the midterm elections, now where economic issues are front and center amid high prices and fears of a recession. Social Security recipients will get a boost in monthly benefits beginning in 2023, more than $140 a month, after the administration announced today that an annual 8.7% cost of living adjustment is the highest that COLA ever issued in decades. Now, an executive director for the Retired Americans in America told millions of retirees that because of the recent inflation, the Social Security is absolutely paramount in our members' and seniors' minds. But experts said there's more to the story than what both sides are stumping it when it comes to the benefit of the program, on which more than 65 million Americans can rely on Social Security for the payments and for the money every single month. Now, the program is funded on a pay-as-you-go basis through payroll tax that goes towards the retirees' monthly payments. But there's currently more people taken out of the system than there are workers putting into it, leading to an imbalance, one that's expected to continue to grow over the years. Now, this is causing some issues. Some Republicans, including Rick Scott, have said that Social Security will go bankrupt. The Social Security Trust Fund, which pays out benefits, estimates its excess reserves will be depleted by 2034. And once depleted, the fund will be able to cover only 77% of scheduled benefits, and that's not good. Everybody, the Board of Trustees stated in its 2022 report, we recommend lawmakers address this projected trust fund shortfalls in a timely way in order to phase in necessary changes gradually and give workers and beneficiaries time to adjust to them. Experts have noted that any potential changes to Social Security to address its finances, including the payroll taxes or change the benefit formula, could be made by Congress today without changing the funding mechanism. Now, while Republicans say they don't want to eliminate this program, which is, I believe, they should not, some worried about Congress having the authorize, especially given the program that lawmakers often run into issues passing spending bills on one time. One economist said that it would just create a lot of uncertainty for retirees and for people with disabilities. And a better approach is to fix Social Security finances, but let's not fundamentally change the nature of the program. And Biden last year has extended the Social Security payroll tax to workers earning more than $400,000, just to help preserve the full benefits for recipients. But speaking at the White House last week, he offered little details on addressing the challenges that Social Security Administration faces. House Republicans are similarly vague on the issue. In the Commitment to America plan released by the caucus of GOP last month, the Republican lawmakers pledged to save and strengthen Social Security, but didn't tell us how. Now, everybody, I'm not sure about you guys, but this seems a little bit concerning.
Mr. President, welcome. It's great to have you here in the Oval Office, and I want to thank you for your hospitality you showed me when I was in Israel, and thank you again for the honor you showed me. I was bragging to the President. I have been presented by the President the Israeli Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is on the table behind you over there. I'm very proud of it, but thank you for that honor. And tomorrow, Israel and Lebanon are going to sign an agreement to establish a permanent maritime boundary between your two countries. I think it's a historic breakthrough. It took a lot of courage for you to step into it. It took some real guts, and I think it took principle and persistent diplomacy to get it done. I compliment you and I compliment the government. This agreement is going to allow the development of energy fields for both countries. It's going to create new hope and economic opportunities for the people of Lebanon, enhance the stability and security of people of Israel. I think, as you probably know, I've been working on this since I was Vice President of the United States. And really compliment you. We're also going to discuss the ironclad commitment, and I'll say this 5,000 times, the ironclad commitment the United States has to Israel based on our principles, our ideas, our values. They're the same values. And I've often said, Mr. President, if there were not an Israel, we'd have to invent one. And I told you before, my dad was a righteous Christian who we used to sit for dinner to have conversation and incidentally eat. And I remember even when I was a teenager, my dad talking about how we should have done so much more. Why didn't we bomb the railroad tracks? Why didn't we? So
in World War II.
In World War II. And so it's a deep shared concern. And so we have bedrock values and interests, and I'm going to hope we get to talk about those a little bit today. And I think our interests are pretty consistent around the world and in the region. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to...
A CNN poll average of ratings for Biden's handling of the presidency finds that 40% of Americans approve of the job he's doing. His numbers on the economy, gas prices, and inflation are even worse. In recent polls, Biden, after months of weighing the idea, threw his support behind the federal gas tax. So hopefully, President Biden can get something done, everybody. Now, the federal government does not take action soon, everybody, then millions of people are going to see a decrease in their monthly benefit checks. This is no joke. But top Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, are trying to pass a new spending bill, which would address the issue as soon as possible. So Democrats are eyeing a last-ditch plan to avert a spike in healthcare costs that could send further damage to their midterm prospects. This comes as Manchin has sent conflicting signals over continuing the health subsidies, expressing broad support while suggesting the financial aid be subject to means testing. A proposal being discussed currently by congressional Democrats and party advisors in recent weeks aims to temporarily extend and enhance Obamacare subsidies that are part of the financial aid package that President Biden signed into law. These subsidies, everybody, are set to expire later this year. The plan under consideration would keep them in place for at least a few another years, postponing the insurance premium hikes projected to hit roughly 13 million Americans. It would stop well short of making them a permanent part of the Affordable Care Act. Democratic leadership, everybody, has long hoped to renew the subsidies as part of their sweeping climate tax reform and prescriptions package, while Manchin has demanded a smaller bill that funnels half of its savings toward deficit reduction that's made a cheaper short-term extension perhaps the only viable option for salvaging the Obamacare aid, as long as desire for every program in the bill is made permanent. The search for a path forward on the issue comes amid rising Democratic anxiety over the potential political fallout if the enhanced subsidies expire. The subsidies passed as part of last year's American Rescue Plan that slashed the cost of health insurance for millions of people, with many lower-income enrollees paying close to nothing for their coverage. As more people become eligible for assistance, Obamacare enrollment surged to new highs. Nancy Pelosi has pressed the issue repeatedly in recent conversations about this in the reconciliation negotiations, including during a meeting last week with Biden. Democratic lawmakers, the health insurance agencies, and advocacy groups have ramped up their appeals to congressional leaders, casting it as especially critical given the broader economic uncertainty. But Manchin has been insistent that any deal struck includes significant deficit reductions. The American Rescue Plan just became law over a year ago. It provided a series of stimulus checks in 2021 and served as a lifeline to many Americans' lives. And as people are struggling with the crisis, reducing food insecurity and providing basic relief, the plan provided several significant tax cuts for working families. Millions of families were able to receive monthly advance payments of the child tax credit between July and December. Now, in order to receive the rest of the credit, these families must file their 2021 tax return. The Delaware Department of Finance recently created an online page where residents are able to check the status of their payments, having been created by House Bill 360. The 2022 Delaware Relief Rebate Program is a legislation that helps provide those who are eligible with a one-time direct check.
Prices keep going up and wages can't keep up. So people are feeling stuck, stressed, and squeezed. So it's no surprise then to see the Washington Post ABC poll number showing that more than 9 in 10 Americans reported concerns about rising prices. 9 in 10 Americans.